Hello, Libra. You didn't land on this video by accident, you were called here. Welcome to Zodiac Whisper Tarot, where energy meets intention, and your destiny isn't just predicted, it's revealed. Let me ask you something. Have you been sensing a shift lately? A strange stirring beneath your calm exterior? Like something in your life is quietly recalibrating, even if you can't explain it? If so, you're exactly where you need to be. This is a sacred reading crafted just for you, Libra, for the week of June 9th to June 15th. And in the first 4 seconds, let me tell you the truth. This week, the universe is opening 4 energetic doors just for you. These are not random blessings. They are a direct response to the frequency you've been emitting, sometimes consciously, other times through silent prayers, restless nights, and quiet hopes. Right now, your soul is standing at the edge of a balancing act between comfort and calling. On one hand, you may feel tempted to maintain the illusion of peace, but on the other, there's a whisper pulling you towards something more honest, more vibrant, more aligned. And the signs? They're everywhere. Angel numbers like 222, 777, and 1010 have likely been crossing your path for a reason. Maybe in receipts, license plates, clocks. Maybe in your dreams. They're not coincidences. They are coordinates, divine breadcrumbs guiding you to remember. The universe never forgets what you asked for. The cards in today's reading: Justice, the High Priestess, the Moon, mirror what's happening inside you. You're being guided to pause. To listen deeper. To remember who you are when no one else is watching. Because true balance isn't about pleasing others, Libra. It's about becoming whole within. And I want to take a moment now, before we dive any deeper, to thank you. Truly. Your presence here is not taken lightly. Every like, every comment, every subscription you share helps this sacred space grow. Zodiac Whisper Tarot exists because of souls like you, souls who seek truth, alignment, and light. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. But here's the real reason I want you to stay with me until the very last moment of this video. What the universe is revealing in today's message is not only unexpected, it's spiritually designed just for you. A mirror to your inner shift. A confirmation of what you've been sensing but didn't yet know how to name. And so, before we begin, let me ask you. What was the energy you were radiating when this video found you? Was it longing? Clarity? Confusion? Hope? Whatever it was, that energy called in this message. Now, Libra, comment below the angel number you've been seeing lately. Maybe it's 222, maybe it's 777, or maybe it's something else entirely. Let the community feel your vibration. Let the universe know you're paying attention. Because trust me, these 4 blessings coming into your life this week are no coincidence. Your soul asked for them. And now, they're arriving. Let's begin. There are moments when the body feels fine, the calendar isn't too full, and life on the outside seems manageable, yet deep within, there's a quiet tension, like your inner compass is spinning in place. For Libra, this sensation isn't unusual. You're ruled by Venus, the planet of harmony and beauty, and you were born under the sign of balance. But the balance you crave isn't just about relationships or routine, it's an internal alignment between your thoughts and your feelings, between what makes sense and what truly feels right. When that alignment is off, it doesn't always look like chaos. Sometimes, it looks like fatigue that doesn't go away with rest, or indecision that no logic can solve. This week, the energetic currents around you are encouraging you to notice these subtle imbalances not as problems but as invitations. The presence of the Justice card in your reading reminds you of your core truth. You're not meant to force balance externally while remaining fragmented inside. True fairness begins within. When you try to keep the peace at the expense of your own clarity, you lose access to your natural power. Justice asks you not to tiptoe around discomfort, but to bring your full awareness to it, because what you're avoiding might be the exact truth that sets you free. Alongside justice comes the High Priestess, a symbol of inner knowing. She doesn't shout. She whispers. And her presence in your reading is a call to pause long enough to hear what your intuition has been trying to say. Not every answer comes through reason. Not every problem needs a plan. Some need silence. Some need stillness. Some need you to close your eyes and ask yourself, what would I know if I trusted myself more deeply? The moon, too, is guiding you. Often misunderstood, the moon doesn't bring confusion, it reveals what's hidden beneath the surface. If you've been having dreams lately, especially recurring ones or flashes of images, feelings, or memories you thought you'd moved past, this is your subconscious asking for your attention. Rather than brushing them off, see them as messages rising from the depth of your emotional wisdom. They are not random. They're reflections of what your soul has been trying to process when your waking mind was too distracted to notice. You might notice angel numbers this week, 222 when you check the time, or 777 showing up in unexpected places. These numbers aren't magic tricks, they're mathematical winks from the structure of the universe. 222 is a quiet reassurance, real harmony begins inside you. And 777 is a reminder that your current restlessness might actually be preparation for something higher, something more meaningful than what you've settled for. The universe is not trying to overwhelm you. It's simply helping you grow into the version of yourself you've prayed for, one choice, one realization at a time. When you feel out of sync, the first step is to slow down enough to listen. Try ending each evening this week by journaling, even briefly. Ask yourself, what made me feel whole today? And what pulled me away from that wholeness? This isn't just reflection, it's recalibration. Like tuning an instrument, your soul needs moments of pause to realign with its natural rhythm. And remember, you don't have to solve everything alone. There is wisdom already written within you. You were created with the ability to discern, to heal, and to recenter. As one gentle teaching says, peace isn't something you find. Peace is what returns when you stop trying to control the outcome and start trusting the process. So this week, trust the signs. Trust your discomfort. Trust your dreams. And most of all, trust the quiet part of you that already knows which direction leads you home. Sometimes, life speaks to us in symbols long before it delivers results. For Libra, whose soul dances on the tightrope between decision and contemplation, this week offers something rare and precious: for divine keys disguised as beginnings. Not every blessing announces itself with fanfare. Some arrive quietly, as new thoughts, renewed feelings, or simple opportunities that seem too small to matter. And yet, each is a portal. Each is a whisper from the universe reminding you, you asked for a change. Now, here is the doorway. The first is the Ace of Swords, cutting through mental fog with breathtaking clarity. This isn't just a flash of insight, it's a permission slip from the universe to claim what you truly believe. For weeks, maybe even months, you've circled decisions, weighing every possible outcome, trying not to offend or disrupt. But now, the path becomes illuminated. You may suddenly realize what's been draining you, or what you've been tolerating for the sake of keeping the peace. The silver-blue energy linked with this card brings discernment. It's as if someone turned on a light inside your mind, and for the first time, you see things as they truly are, not how you feared or hoped they'd be. Use this moment not just to think clearly, but to speak clearly. The words you choose now could open doors no silence ever will. Then comes the Ace of Cups, a reminder that emotional clarity is just as sacred. There's a new softness in the air this week, one that encourages tenderness without weakness, love without attachment, compassion without losing your boundaries. Whether it's a blooming friendship, a reconnection with someone meaningful, or a moment of pure self-love, you are being invited to receive without guilt and give without overextending. The pastel pink shade connected to this card brings emotional healing. Let it wrap around you like a blanket. Your heart, Libra, is not a battlefield, it is a garden. Water it gently. In the material world, the Ace of Pentacles appears to anchor your dreams into tangible form. This may come as a new offer, an unexpected financial chance, or even a practical idea that grounds your creative vision. Many Libras are quick to dream but hesitant to act until everything feels secure. But this card asks you to take one intentional step forward, even if it's small. The olive green frequency of this gift helps you stay rooted in your values while reaching toward new abundance. What you begin now has the potential to grow into something steady and long-lasting if you nurture it without fear. And lastly, the fire is reignited with the Ace of Wands. Think of this card as your soul's wake-up call. What have you secretly longed to explore again? What activity or dream once made you feel alive but got buried under the weight of shoulds and somedays? The coral orange energy is here to reawaken your creative passion, not as a duty, but as a joy. Don't wait for permission. Begin now. The spark you feel this week is sacred, and someone out there is waiting for exactly what you're called to create. Numerologically, you're being guided by the numbers 2, 7, and 10. 2 calls in harmony, reminding you that alignment with your inner self creates peace on the outside. 7 is the call to trust your intuition even when logic pushes against it. And 10 is the gateway to a new cycle. One door closes, yes, but only because another one just opened wider than you ever imagined. And if you're wondering whether you're ready, you are. As it's gently taught in divine wisdom, new beginnings don't require perfection, just willingness. Your part is to show up, to choose again, to walk through the open door with faith. The rest will be provided, step by step, as you go. At times, standing still feels safer than choosing the unknown. But for Libra, a sign that naturally weighs every perspective with fairness, this stillness can slowly become a prison disguised as peace. When 2 of Swords appears, paired with the moon, it signals more than indecision. It reflects a heart pulled in opposite directions, unsure which voice to trust. And yet, the deeper message here is that clarity rarely arrives while you're overthinking. It comes when you're willing to release the pressure to get it right, and instead ask, what aligns with who I truly am right now? There's a quiet power in admitting that your soul is tired of waiting for the perfect conditions. The moon teaches us that not everything can be seen clearly at once, but that doesn't mean you're lost. It only means you're being invited to trust a deeper intelligence, the one written into your being before you even knew what you were seeking. This isn't a time to chase certainty. It's a time to restore inner balance by listening inward and choosing from a place of calm truth rather than fear. Often, we believe that by delaying a decision, we're keeping our options open. But what's really happening is that we keep ourselves emotionally stuck hovering between yes and no, progress and pause. The wisdom that flows through spiritual teaching reminds us gently, the path forward doesn't need to be without fear, it simply needs to be walked with courage. And when you walk with courage, grace follows. Choosing even imperfectly creates movement, and movement invites alignment. Staying stuck is what exhausts your spirit, not change. If your heart feels heavy right now, it might be because you've been trying to carry every version of yourself at once, the one who wants to move forward, the one afraid to lose comfort, the one who longs to feel safe again. But growth doesn't require you to abandon those parts. It asks you to embrace the one within you who is ready to lead. You can begin gently. Start your morning with a question, as simple as, "What do I want today?" Then take 15 minutes to just breathe with that question. Not to solve it, not to force it, but to hear what your own body, your own soul, wants to tell you. That quiet practice of presence, repeated daily, will teach your nervous system that clarity doesn't live in urgency, it grows in spaciousness. Write it down. If you feel called, I allow myself to step out of hesitation and into the truth of who I am. Not because someone else told you what's right, but because your own inner compass is being reset and it's pointing you toward the kind of freedom that isn't loud or flashy. It's the kind that lets you exhale and feel safe in your own skin again. And if you're still unsure, remember this: no divine plan was ever built on your ability to control everything. It was built on your willingness to trust, even when the road curves. Just as the moon waxes and wanes yet never loses its light, your sense of self may rise and fall, but your value, your purpose, your direction, they are never lost. They are simply waiting for you to stop trying to be perfect, and start choosing what brings peace. So this week, let the uncertainty soften, not harden you. Let the indecision be the doorway, not the wall. And walk forward not because you know everything, but because you are finally choosing to live in alignment with the truth that's always been whispering within. There's something sacred that happens when you stop chasing love and start coming home to yourself. After all the inner shifts you've been navigating, this week brings a gentle reminder through the Lovers and the High Priestess. The most magnetic version of you is the one who feels whole without needing to be completed. True connection begins not in the eyes of another, but in the quiet moment when you look within and say, "I see you. I trust you. I choose you." That's the energy that calls an aligned love, not noise, not performance, but resonance. When the Lovers appears, many instantly think of romance. And yes, that's certainly possible now, whether you're meeting someone new or deepening a bond that already exists. But the deeper invitation is to examine how you're relating to yourself first. Are you loving from overflow or from emptiness? Are you waiting for someone else to reflect your worth back to you, or are you becoming the reflection you need? The High Priestess gently encourages you to pause, breathe, and remember, your intuition already knows what kind of love you deserve. It knows when something feels right, and it whispers when something doesn't. Lavender and soft white tones, colors associated with emotional purity and divine understanding, are especially supportive for you this week. Surround yourself with them. Wear them. Let them remind you that love is not about proving anything. It's about being present with the truth of who you are, and allowing another soul to witness it without masks, without fear. This isn't about performing perfection to be accepted. It's about allowing vulnerability to be your greatest strength. One way to realign your heart is by writing a letter to yourself. Not from the voice of your critic, but from the voice of your highest partner, the one who sees your scars and still says, "You are worthy. You are enough. I choose you in every version, not just the polished one." This simple act of inner dialogue heals more than you might expect. It opens a space where love can flow into you, not because you demanded it, but because you created a safe place for it to land. Love, in its truest form, doesn't always arrive with fireworks. Sometimes, it walks in quietly when you're at peace, when you've stopped trying to manipulate timing, and when you've remembered how to be tender with yourself. That's when the right person, whether it's a friend, a partner, or even a reconnection with a part of your past, shows up not to save you, but to grow with you. And maybe that's the wisdom we're meant to remember this week. That love was never meant to fix you, because you were never broken. It was meant to mirror back the light you were already learning to carry on your own. Divine guidance often reminds us that before we are called to love someone else, we are called to love ourselves the way the universe does, unconditionally, patiently, without fear of imperfection. So instead of wondering who's coming toward you, ask, who am I becoming for myself? And as you answer that, trust that the connections you desire are being drawn to your frequency, not your facade. The deeper your self-respect, the stronger your romantic alignment. This is how love becomes more than just beautiful, it becomes sacred. Because when you're truly home within yourself, the right people don't just notice. They arrive. Sometimes, what looks like a financial delay or career stagnation is actually a sacred pause moment given not to punish you, but to prompt a deeper inquiry. Are you aligned with what you truly value? The presence of the Six of Pentacles, Justice, and Page of Pentacles this week signals that the universe is inviting you into a higher level of clarity around how you give and receive, how you labor and rest, and how your self-worth shows up in your money decisions. Career and finances aren't just practical matters, theory, deeply emotional and spiritual territories. And for you, dear Libra, balance is not just an ideal. It's a soul contract. Justice, your astrological archetype, reminds us that nothing escapes the scales for too long. When you've been overly generous, constantly giving without boundaries, the scales will start tipping until you're forced to reassess. When you've held back out of fear, refusing to invest time, energy, or trust, the same scales will call you forward to take a leap. And when you've walked in alignment, sharing what you have with discernment and grace, you'll see that the universe always returns what you've planted, multiplied. That's why the Six of Pentacles is such a powerful guide this week. It's not just about receiving financial help or giving support. It's about recognizing that prosperity flows through clarity. The more clearly you know your role and the energy of exchange, the more confidently you can navigate decisions about your job, your money, and your value. And the Page of Pentacles is here to say, you don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to be willing to learn. Now is the perfect time to create a visual map of your current financial flow, not from a place of control, but from a place of curiosity. Ask yourself, Where is my energy going? Is it being replenished? What areas feel expansive, and which ones feel like I'm forcing something that no longer works? This isn't about shame. It's about stewardship. You are being asked to steward your time and talents with wisdom, not pressure. And that requires humility and a fresh mindset. If you've been contemplating a job shift, investing in a new skill, or beginning a side project that lights you up, this week is a window of clarity. You don't need to leap blindly, but you do need to stop pretending you're satisfied with just enough when your spirit craves meaningful contribution. And if fear has held you back, let this be your gentle confirmation. Divine timing doesn't mean eternal waiting. It means listening to the cues and acting when the door cracks open. The energy of the number 6 this week brings fairness and reciprocity into sharp focus. Number 1 nudges you to take initiative. Number 9 speaks of completion, wrapping up old mindsets, outdated roles, or draining obligations. You're not being asked to do it all overnight. You're being asked to trust the process of becoming someone who honors their own growth enough to move, even if the first step feels uncertain. Emerald green and grounding wood brown will help you stay centered in truth and action. These colors are not loud, but they are powerful. They root you in what is real, and they help you grow toward what is next. And in all of this, remember one simple truth that spiritual wisdom often reminds us: you are not what you produce. You are not your paycheck. You are not your performance. You are a child of grace, and your provision will always align with your purpose if you allow yourself to walk in that purpose with integrity. So if you've made it here, my beautiful Libra soul, I want you to take a breath. Not just the kind of breath that fills your lungs, but one that softens your heart. One that reminds you, you didn't find this message by accident. You were called here. And not by noise, not by chance, but by alignment, the same sacred rhythm that pulls the moon, that stirs the tide, that moves your spirit when the world grows still. Throughout this week, the universe has been nudging you gently, quietly, into deeper harmony. Maybe you felt it in the subtle discomfort of indecision, or the way your heart longs for peace even when everything looks fine on the surface. Maybe you've been giving too much or waiting too long. But now you know, it's time to return. Not to what was, but to who you really are when no one else is watching. The one who leads with grace, who feels deeply, and who balances every choice with intention. And remember this: when your inner world finds its rhythm, the outer world follows. When you stop abandoning yourself to please others, your relationships shift. When you choose financial decisions rooted in clarity, opportunities open. When you speak your truth with both love and courage, the right people lean in. The world reflects you, Libra, and that reflection starts from within. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be honest. You don't have to rush. You just have to respond. Even the smallest act of alignment, journaling before bed, meditating in silence, choosing colors that ground you, becomes a sacred prayer. A declaration that you are walking your path with open eyes and a softened heart. So, what blessing is already unfolding for you this week? What truth are you finally ready to claim as your own? And most importantly, are you ready to stop asking for permission and start living from your center? If this video has sparked something in you, a memory, a decision, a quiet yes, I invite you to share that spark in the comments. Let's make this more than a video. let's make it a space of shared awakening. Tell me, what part of you is returning home right now? What part of your life is craving harmony the most? And before you go, let me take a moment to offer the deepest gratitude for your presence here. Every like, every thoughtful comment, every subscription is more than just support, it's your energy echoing through this space, helping us grow something truly meaningful together. You are part of the heartbeat of Zodiac Whisper Tarot, and I'm honored to walk beside you. So, if your soul is whispering, "I'm ready," if something in you feels seen, please don't leave without giving yourself the gift of connection. Hit like if this message felt true to you. Subscribe so you don't miss next week's divine download. And comment below, "I am returning to myself and I'm ready for the miracle." Because Libra, the blessing isn't just coming, it's already begun.